Sport here in Sheffield for the World Boxing Cup. We have ahead of us 4 days of world-class amateur boxing. More than 90 boxers from 16 countries compete in 7 weight categories here over the next few days. 7 weight categories for the men, 6 weight categories for the women. Those, of course, being the qualifying Olympic weight categories for Paris 2024. Always a matter of pride when representing your country, but plenty at stake here as the next Olympic qualifying competition is just a month away. So these athletes will be focused on being selected for that. So there's a huge emphasis on that for these fighters. Those who haven't already qualified, of course, their Olympic dreams very much on the line here as they will be vying for selection for their respective nations. 5 fights coming up in this morning's sessions. This is going to be top class, world class quality amateur boxing. We are going to have a real treat to see our future stars, Olympic stars, and those at the very, very top of the amateur game. We're looking forward to bringing you an exciting opening fight. There's been 2 English fighters drawn against one another for the opening bout. So we're going to see the women's featherweight category, 57 kilo category get underway. Then we've got fighters representing Germany, the Netherlands, Czech Republic, Sweden. And there's an absolute belter 5th on the list for this morning. Delicious Ori and Nelvi Tiafak. That is going to be a sensational bout. The 2 have met before. Delicious Ori, of course, has already qualified for Paris 2024, already being touted as the next Anthony Joshua. That in the men's super heavyweight category. Not one to be missed. Make sure your eyes are glued to the screen for that one because it is going to be pretty explosive. Really exciting few days of boxing here. I've just been backstage, seen some of the boxers, mix of nerves and excitement as they're warming up and going through their last bits of preparation. Let's go now to our MC, Craig Denholm.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the English Institute of Sport, Sheffield. My name is Craig Denholm, and I'm your Master of Ceremonies for the next 4 days of international competition. This is the GB Open World Boxing Cup, which is being staged by England Boxing in association with World Boxing and GB Boxing, and it's live around the world on BBC iPlayer and BBC Sport. The event is brought to you by our partners, GB Boxing, UK Sport, the National Lottery, Sheffield City Council, England Boxing and Sting. Our competing nations are the Czech Republic, Denmark, England, Finland, Germany, Mongolia, the Netherlands, Nigeria, Norway, Panama, Scotland, Sweden and French Polynesia. So ladies and gentlemen, the officials are ready, the boxers are ready. It's time to make some noise. It's time to start boxing. So, introducing your red corner to the ring. Representing England, please give it up for SAMEENAH, TOUSSAINT.
So an all-English affair for this first bout of this morning's session. SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT making her way into the ring for this first women's featherweight 57 kilo bout. 2 English fighters drawn against one another. So this one really crucial when it comes to vying for selection for that Olympic qualifying tournament next month.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner to the ring, representing England. Give it up for ELISE, GLYNN.
main hand, if you like, with the main power, is their right hand. Both fighters getting ready to make their way to the centre of the ring, taking their final instructions from the referee.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 1, which is a women's featherweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the all red with white trim, representing England, give it for SAMEENAH, TOUSSAINT. And across the ring, her opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all red with white trim, hailing from England. Give it up for ELISE, GLYNN. Your referee is the holder, TOUSSAINT.
Ready to get our first bout underway here at the English Institute of Sport in Sheffield. 2 English fighters drawn against one another. SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT from Harrow, she's a 6-time national champion, 2 European bronze medals, and represented England at the Commonwealth Games. And against ELISE, GLYNN, European gold and bronze medalist, English and GB champion. She actually, ELISE, GLYNN won the Best Newcomer award at the GB Awards at the back end of last year, so both very impressive resumes. Should make for an interesting match-up. A fast start from both fighters. ELISE, GLYNN was saying this week that she was delighted to be back out so soon since last year, and with the Olympic qualifiers just around the corner, that is very much her main focus and goal, to earn qualification and then of course compete at Paris 2024, which is something that all of the fighters here who haven't already qualified will have their eyes on. Those that have qualified, this will be a really important tune-up for them as part of their preparations to ensure that they're peaking at just the right time for what will be and is for any amateur boxer the pinnacle of their amateur career. A good start here from both fighters. Started boxing at 10 years old, SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT. Her dad took her down to the local gym, Northvolt ABC. So she didn't really like boxing at first, but she built confidence when she started winning and stuck with it, and I'm sure that's a decision that she's pleased she took, because she's certainly doing well. Just 21 years old. ELISE, GLYNN from Solihull, boxing off the back foot here. It's got those long levers. Both fighters getting tangled at times, the referee just instructing them to break away. Trying to find a way through. It's very difficult when you know each other so well. These two, of course, will have done many rounds of sparring together here at the EIS in the gym, preparing for tournaments and as part of training camps. Sometimes it's quite difficult when you know them really well, and coaches on both sides have trained both fighters and will know them as well, so really difficult to just find those little margins of gain where you can get the advantage over your opponent when you know each other so well. Again, becoming entangled. Nice snappy jab from ELISE, GLYNN, falling short with it sometimes, but she raises her hand at the end of that first round. There are 5 judges at ringside for amateur bouts. It's a 10-point must-win system, so we'll give 10 points to the fighter that they deem to have won the round, and at the end, of course, those scores are added up. If all judges are in agreement, that'll be a unanimous decision. If not, and there's a difference of opinion, the majority is taken and a split decision is awarded. Perhaps you might think that was quite a close one to call. Scores are based on many things, such as blows landed on the target areas, who's been the more dominant fighter in the bout, technique, tactical superiority. There's a lot that these fighters are judged on. It's obviously a difference of opinion amongst judges sometimes, so you at home will be making your own opinions on that opening round as we enter round 2 now. SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT taking the centre ring position again. ELISE GLYNN boxing off the back foot again. ELISE GLYNN in blue, fighting out of the blue corner with those very bright luminous yellow socks. I just saw her just about half an hour ago, just going through the final phase of her warm-up. Seems to be feeling fairly confident. And a bit of gymnastics there as well, bit of a roly-poly from SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT. She's boxing in red, of course, out the red corner. Straight back to the action. Stiff jab. Working ELISE GLYNN on the ropes. Two becoming entangled at times. Both got those long levers that sometimes don't lend itself that well to boxing on the inside, but both fighters appear to be more comfortable at mid to long range. ELISE GLYNN sometimes just falling short with those shots. Perhaps will need to step in a little bit more just to close that difference to land on TOUSSAINT. SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT just edging in behind that front foot and then letting her hands go. ELISE GLYNN looking to counter punch. Again, because these two will know each other so well from being around each other all the time in training camps. Lovely shot there from TOUSSAINT from the backhand. Landed really well on ELISE GLYNN. He's back on a bike now, covering every inch of the ring on the back foot. Counts as well there though. Both become a little bit tangled, gets a bit scrappy at times, this one. Referee just wiping the gloves down before they go back to action. Applied herself really well in this one, TOUSSAINT. She's taking the dominant ring position. ELISE GLYNN firing back with nice counter punches when she's afforded the opportunity. Neither of them too keen to get involved on the inside, both seeming to prefer mid to long range, which is what we've come to expect from what we've seen from both fighters before. Of course, utilising the long reach that they both possess. Nice counter there from ELISE GLYNN with the lead hand, and again with the reverse 1-2. Lovely work there, getting the better of those exchanges, the fighter from Solihull. Good work from both fighters. It's a matter of who the judges prefer. Did they prefer that dominant central ring position and pressure from SAMEENAH TOUSSAINT, or the counter punching and movement of ELISE GLYNN? Difficult sometimes to know what the judges will prefer, but of course you'll judge it yourself at home watching this one, which style you prefer. Whether you prefer that pressure or that back foot fighting. Of course, either style and tactic done well, you can get yourself the win. If you're a pressure fighter and you come forward and you have success with that pressure, and that will go in your favour. Of course, we have seen plenty of incredibly stylish and successful back foot fighters who are just so fast and quick with those counters. We've seen a little bit of both here, so who the judges prefer, who knows, that remains to be seen. Both boxers now enter into the final round. 3 3-minute rounds contested in the amateur field. Of course, the women wear head guards for their bouts, and men no longer wear head guards. Nice sharp start from TOUSSAINT, leading off with that lead onto the body. Just falling short again slightly, ELISE GLYNN, but when she lands, she's very accurate, and those are stinging, snappy shots. Eye-catching for the judges when they snap the head back, of course. Good work from both fighters here. Both will know that they've got work to do in this final round if either of them wants to make sure of the victory. Good work again TOUSSAINT pushing ELISE going back. She's firing back with counters of her own. Difficult when you've got a fighter who moves as much as ELISE GLYNN, because they can be difficult to pin down, but TOUSSAINT's done a good job of putting off the ring and closing her down and edging in bit by bit in order to apply that pressure to get her shots off. Equally, ELISE GLYNN adapted well to throw those counters. She has that low, relaxed guard. When you're flicking those jabs up from that low guard position, it's be difficult to defend against. But that's what TOUSSAINT has to do.
No wrestling, no wrestling. Stand back, stand back.
Can be difficult at times when they have that low lead hand. Landed that well at times, ELISE GLYNN, that lead hand. She's mixed it up, straight shots and hooks, and it's been really effective when she's been able to utilise it. Both getting a little tangled there on the ropes. TOUSSAINT back to her position, edging her way in. Edging in. Waiting to seize the opportunity to pounce and let her hands go on ELISE GLYNN. What you've got to be careful of is not to dive in, because with the counter puncher they can throw those little check-ups and short, sharp shots, and then they'll be out of the way and you find yourself flailing, hitting thin air. So you've got to be intelligent when applying that pressure, which TOUSSAINT has done. Edging in behind that back foot. And just finding herself slightly out of range again. Just the shoelace of TOUSSAINT needs tying again. Not long to go in this one now. You can expect both fighters to try and leave their stamp on this one in the closing few seconds. Both straight to work, trying to leave an impression upon the judges in the final seconds of this last round. TOUSSAINT getting the last shot in that exchange, falls in a little bit over that front foot. Straight back to it. Good exchange here from both fighters. A lively and competitive opening bout, as you would expect here. Lots on the line. 57 kilo women's featherweight category. TOUSSAINT and GLYNN, two English fighters drawn against one another in this first round. So really difficult when you know each other so well. You've been on training camps together, sparred many rounds together. Difficult to find that edge. But both fighters applied themselves well. Which style and tactics will the judges prefer? Both fighters making their way over to the referee as we await the final announcement, as our MC Craig Denno makes his way into the ring as we await the final result.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, number one, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we get the scorecards with your officials at ringside. Scoring split decision in favour of your winner. Boxing out of the blue corner, it's ELISE GLYNN. Once again, a round of applause for both boxers.
Well, a win for ELISE GLYNN. She'll be delighted with that. That's going to help her in terms of putting herself forward. our second bout with our MC, Craig Denholm.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we move to bout number 2. Introducing your red corner to the ring, representing the Czech Republic. Give it up for LENKA, BERNARDOVA. And ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner to the ring, representing Germany. Give it up for Felicitas Gangelbach.
To make the official announcement.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 2, which is a women's lightweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing all red with white trim, representing the Czech Republic. Give it up for LENKA, BERNARDOVA. And across the ring, her opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the blue with white trim, representing Germany. Give it up for Felicitas Gangelbach. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Tony Buff.
Well, as we're about to get bout number 2 underway, I'm delighted to say that I'm now joined by Lewis Richardson, of course, light middleweight fighter for GB, European finalist in 2022, silver medalist and Commonwealth Games bronze medalist as well. Lewis, lovely to have you with us as we get this one underway. Just as a way of a quick introduction, we've got Felicitas Gangelbach, representing Germany. He's fighting out of the blue corner against Czech Republic, LENKA, BERNARDOVA. And I think we can see from the beginning, Lewis, there's a fair height and reach advantage in favour of the German fighter here.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Stacey. Good to be involved in this event. And yeah, as you can see, we've got 2 southpaws. But yeah, the German has definitely got the height and reach advantage, and she's looking to use that well.
Really important when you've got that height and reach advantage to use it to your benefit, keeping it at long range, and she's doing that well. The German landing a big backhand. The fighter from the Czech Republic is going to have to find a way to close that distance, close that range.
Yeah, definitely. She's good. The German looks quick with her feet, fast hands, fast feet. But the Czech touching her body nicely, but it's just seems like the German's got the eye-catching shots at the moment.
She's had a lot of experience, the fighter from the Czech Republic, Bernardova, European silver medal in her first senior international tournament. She won a bronze at the European Youths as her head is whipped back there from the German fighter with those long levers.
Yeah,
taking quite a bit of punishment here, the Czech fighter, isn't she?
You'd have to say the German started stronger.
She has.
Sharper.
5 times national champion, the Czech Republic fighter, and she has been in there with some world-class fighters, the likes of Olympic champion Ireland's Kelly Harrington. That was in the Europeans in 2020. And she's fought the vastly experienced Swedish standout fighter Agnes Alexisson as well. She's fought her twice. She lost both of those fights, but some resume to have been in with multiple world and European champions. But she's up against it here with the German, who's making the most of her physical advantages. That height and reach advantages is quite significant, isn't it? But using it really well, keeping it at long range, Lewis.
Yeah, definitely. The German seems to be on top this round. You'd have to say you'd like the Czech Republic to keep a lead hand up a little bit more to try and not make it so easy to be hit those straight shots from the German. But yeah, strong round from the German so far. The Czech's still in it, you know. She's still battling away, but you'd have to say the German is on top so far.
I think what's interesting as well about Gangelbauer is that she is clearly much the taller boxer, but she also dips a little, doesn't she? She's got a sort of bent position that lowers herself, so it makes it difficult as a shorter fighter to utilise that overhand shot, which sometimes can be so effective against a taller fighter. She's taking that away, but of course still got that massive reach advantage. So no matter what stance she takes, whether it's very upright or slightly leaning, she has that huge reach advantage. So
I think the most important thing there, though, she's still using her range well. She's still using full leverage on her shots, and yeah, able to get that full range. So the distance and the range is still strong, even if she is crouching a little bit.
So how have things been for you? And congratulations, by the way, on your award at the GB Awards. That was immense, getting the community award for the work that you've been doing. It was a contribution to a council scheme in Colchester. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it's just for sort of disadvantaged children / children who are a little bit disruptive at school and have, you know, issues at school and maybe at home, and they just asked me to get involved, the local Colchester City Council, and obviously these sorts of things as athletes, as role models, we're more than happy to do so, because if we can leave a positive impact on, you know, just one of those children's lives, then, you know, it's a positive difference for sure.
Well, it's amazing to use your platform as a role model and an athlete for that, and recognised as well at the GB Awards with the Community Award. So congratulations on that. And we'll talk a little bit more about how things have been going for you, but we've got the second round underway now, and the German fighter Gangelbauer very much back in the same vein as we saw in the opening round, keeping things at distance, and she's good with the footwork as well, isn't she? Because she's not diving in or lunging, she's edging her way in, and when the Czech fighter tries to come towards her, just takes that little step back and maintains that range, making it really difficult for the Czech fighter to land, and that's why hence she's falling short, isn't she, time and time again, the fighter in red from the Czech Republic.
Definitely, she started where she left off from the end of round one, and she's taken a commanding role in the centre of the ring this round. Last round it was a bit of to and fro, but she looks to be in more commanding position, more positive ring positioning, as well as yeah, displaying some really good shot selection.
And as I was saying in the opening round, the Czech fighter in red, Bernardova, has been in there with some of the best in the world, including Olympic champion Kelly Harrington. So I doubt very much that her spirit will be broken here, because she's been in with top level fighters before. She'll keep going and give it everything, but this is, by our reckoning anyway, a very dominant performance from the German, who's landing with that backhand every time, clean, flush, accurate shots.
Landing too easily, but if you notice with the Czech Republic's lead hand is so low that the backhand, being two southpaws, the backhand can just come over the top so easily for the German, and she's doing it very, very well as well.
And I think if you adopt that tactic as the shorter fighter, to have that low guard, and rely on your reflexes. Your timing has to be absolutely perfect, doesn't it? Or you're going to ship some big backhands, which she has done,
yeah, definitely,
with great frequency in these opening rounds.
Timing has to be good, and also you have to get your head off the line if you are going to be putting a low lead hand like that. But yeah, fair play to the German. She is she's taking full advantage of that. And the Czech is still in it, you know, she's still having a good go, she's still throwing back. It's quite a clean fight, it's not too messy, not seeing too much holding, or the referees not having to get too involved, which is always a positive in amateur boxing.
And she's having some degree of success, Bernardova, the Czech fighter, sometimes with that Czech hook. As the German comes in, she is catching her and timing it right. But largely, the German very much the dominant fighter in this contest. Nice lead jab, making it really difficult as she keeps adjusting her feet. Really difficult for the Czech fighter Bernardova to get any purchase on her shots.
Yeah, just pushing and pulling with those feet. The German's effective at that and can use her height and range to her advantage there.
So how's training going for you, and what's the start of 2024 been like for you, Lewis?
Yeah, the start's been really positive. Competition-wise, it starts tomorrow for me, so I'm boxing tomorrow in the evening session, so looking forward to that. And yeah, just looking forward to that. I ended 2023 on a big high. I've had 2 tournaments in November and December, and won all 6 bouts, so I come away with 2 gold medals, which is always nice to do for my country. And yeah, just finishing the year strong and looking to carry that through to 2024. Obviously, big year, Olympic year, and yeah, looking to go and sort of cement my spot in the light middleweight division.
Of course, and that's, as I was saying just at the opening, Lewis, that it's always a matter of pride representing your country, but there's a great deal at stake at this tournament. For those who are not aware, the next Olympic qualifying tournament is just a month away, so lots of these fighters will be hoping to cement their spot at that tournament to have a chance to qualify for Paris 2024. So huge things at stake for the fighters at this tournament, their Olympic dreams on the line, because if you don't get selected for the qualification tournament, of course you won't be in with the hope of going, and sometimes there's stiff competition within your own nation. And you know, for the stronger nations, sometimes you could have 3 or 4 fighters, Lewis, that could have a chance of getting picked, and it's just a matter of who peaks and gets it right,
yeah, 100%.
At the right time. I
mean, that's the unfortunate part of Olympic boxing, is you can only send one athlete per weight category. So, you know, there's certain weights within our program where 3 or 4 boxers are good enough to qualify for the Olympic Games, but that's just the nature of the sport, and it pushes us all harder in the gym. You know, we're always learning, always pushing each other, and you'll see that when you see a lot of our GB athletes compete this week. You'll see the level we're at, and yeah, we're a very strong, high competing nation, and
we've had an incredible record, haven't we, at international level and the Olympics. Over the years, of course, 248 boxers will be competing at Paris 2024. Each National Olympic Committee can qualify 13 boxers, 6 women, 7 men. As Gangelbauer continues to dominate Bernardova from the Czech Republic here, the German boxer applied herself exceptionally well in this fight.
Yeah, you'd have to say it's been pretty one-sided, but at the same time, the Czech Republic girl is still in there. You know, she's still trying, and yeah, there's no giving her.
Nice shot there with the backhand. You can see that why the Czech Republic fighter Bernardova has had successes like that European silver medal and the bronze at the European Youths, and been 5-time national champion, because at times there's those glimpses, isn't there, of really stylish, slick counter-punching, good timing, nice check hooks, relaxed style. But the German just proving too much for with those long levers, adjusting her feet continuously, and that backhand in particular has been a real weapon in the arsenal of the German fighter.
Yeah,
and she really has utilised it well.
Yeah, she boxed very well, and just shows the depth of female boxing is yeah, definitely increasing, which is good to see. And yeah, the German not as experienced, but still got plenty of talent and skill, and she displayed that very well today. 22
places for women in all weight categories, except for the 66 and 75 kilo categories. 20 places at 66 kilo and 16 places at 75. The rest 22 spots up in the weights at the Olympics. 4 women from Europe at all weights, and 2 in the 75 kilo category. So when you look at it that way, by region, it narrows your chances even more. So just 4 fighters from Europe get to go in the weight category. So it really, it's incredibly difficult to qualify.
That was for the European qualifiers, and now the next 2 qualifiers will be opened up to be world qualifiers. So there could be more than 4 European nations, and there likely will be. But yeah, initially it was
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
139 fighters will qualify through the continental tournaments.
So they've already been. So they were back end of last year, and yeah, these next 2 are world qualifiers where you'll see. You'll see a few more sort of. Well, you see more countries, more nations qualify.
The European competition was in Poland in 2023, African nations in September, Asia October, the Americas in November, and Oceania in December. So those, as Lewis rightly said, have all taken place. The remaining athletes. Well, no surprise there that the German fighter Gangelbauer got a unanimous decision. A good performance from the Czech Republic fighter, but she was up against a very, very highly skilled operator in the German fighter Felicitas Gangelbauer, who now will progress to the next round. As we were just saying, remaining athletes will be able to still qualify for the Olympics through the World Qualification tournaments. The next one's in February and March in Italy, and May and June in Bangkok. Getting ready for Paris 2024. The boxing competition will take place between the 27th of July and August the 10th. So that is what this is all about. The fighters here trying to make sure that they get selected for their respective nations for those World Qualification tournaments to fulfill their dreams of becoming Olympians. About to get ready for our third bout now between the Czech Republic and the Netherlands. This is a men's light middleweight 71 kilo category, your category, Lewis Richardson, so you're going to be watching this with a really keen eye. Let's go to our MC. So James Delano making his way to the ring representing the Netherlands. We've got Kelvin Sekesa from the Czech Republic already awaiting him. Sekesa boxing out of the red corner representing the Czech Republic, and Delano fighting in blue out of the blue corner representing the Netherlands. This should be an absolute cracker. Both fighters fighting in the 71 kilo category. We've got Lewis Richardson alongside me, who of course represents Great Britain and England in that weight category, so we'll be having a keen eye on this one. Referee just making the final checks as we go back to our MC.
Republic, give it up for Kelvin Sequessa. And across the ring, his opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim, representing the Netherlands. Give it up for James Delano. Your referee at the bell, Mr. Billy McDonald.
So, men's light middleweight category, 71 kilos. As I say, I've got GB boxer Lewis Richardson alongside me, who competes in this category. Won't be fighting until tomorrow in this competition, but this is set to be a pretty good contest, because both come to this with plenty of pedigree. Kelvin Sequessa, the fighter from the Czech Republic, fighting in red, 4-time national champion, goes by the alias of Golden Boy. So let's see if he lives up to that. And of course Delano from the Netherlands, fighting out of the blue corner, 6 times national champion. So both had great success in their domestic national competitions. Let's see what they can bring here. Having seen Sequessa before, got a lovely accurate backhand. He's technically nice and tidy fighter. Should be an intriguing contest, this one.
Yeah, both started quite positively. Delano more on the front foot, but both hands are nice and high. Nothing too big been landed yet, but both started positively. Good hook there from the Czech.
He's a popular character in the Netherlands, Delano. He's a personal trainer and motivational speaker. Says he set out in 2009 with the sole goal of becoming the Dutch champion. He lost in the finals 3 times in a row. And then people were saying to him, maybe he should quit and do something else, but that just wasn't in his character. He carried on and then finally won the national title in 2017, and since then has gone on to win 6 Dutch titles. So that in itself is a good example, isn't it, of that resilience and that mentality that athletes can often bring. His next target, of course, is Paris 2024. He appeared in a documentary called The Last Chance in the Netherlands last November, which was about his journey to try and qualify for the Olympics. He had a long-term injury back in 2022. He has been in Sheffield before for training camps and sparring as recently as March last year. So how much does that help being part of international training camps, Lewis, where you get to fight different styles and have lots of rounds in that short space of time?
Yeah, it's a brilliant experience, and it very much mimics the tournament format, with the add-on of additional training sessions alongside those with our track work and our strength conditioning work. So, but the sparring, the international sparring is, yeah, it's valuable, very, very valuable. I've never actually sparred either of these, but I've seen Delano on numerous camps and numerous competitions.
They're both tidy fighters, aren't they? Yeah. Fairly clean lines, technically sound, you know, nice to watch. But it's, who would you say has got the edge here? Could you pick anybody?
It's a really close round, actually. I think as we enter the last sort of 20 seconds, it's still to play for. You'd have to say Delano's probably finished stronger, but I'd say the Czech started stronger. So it's just what the judges remember more, to be honest, and what they prefer.
Nice range of shots that we're seeing. Definitely. From the Dutch fighter as well. Landed a lovely backhand uppercut there as well, and that's something else that judges will look for. I mean, the 10 points must system is scored on a variety of things, sort of, you know, ringmanship and dominant ring position, and obviously the way that they apply themselves in the fight. But you know, one of the things that is eye-catching is the shots that you land in, the variety of shots in your arsenal, isn't it?
Of course. I mean, that's the most important thing. Everything else is sort of an add-on. You know, if you're landing eye-catching shots with strong impact, then that's what the judges are going to remember most. But that was actually a really competitive round. It's quite hard to score. We're not seeing the scorecards, and I don't think you are at home either. So it's nice to see, because sometimes we do have access to that, but this brings a bit more suspense to it, so it's quite nice to have.
I've seen some nice replay action here of those exchanges. Both fairly even in those exchanges, I'd say, in terms of shots landed. And again, lots of areas of blows landed on target areas, domination of the bout, technical and tactical superiority, all of those things will factor in when judges make their decision on who they give a 10-point
They've both
round
started very strong here.
Yeah, I think both fighters know they've got to stamp their authority on this one.
It was a closely fought first round. Because I do believe the corners are getting access to the scorecards in between rounds, so they will know. So the fighters will know whether they're up or down on that round, and it would suggest that it was fairly competitive and close.
Do you like to know that information as a fighter?
Yeah, definitely. I think internationally, where we've been on the circuit for quite a while now, I'm used to having a scorecard in between rounds. So initially, it can throw you off a little bit when maybe you think you've won a first round or you think you've lost, and it goes the other way. But yeah, with that experience gained, I think it's positive to know.
It's different now to the old system, of course, which used to be points, literally, where you could be winning sort of 20 points to 5 in a round, and you didn't necessarily want that information either way, because if you know that you're miles ahead, it's perhaps not great for a fighter, and if you're miles behind, whereas usually coaches would just say you're up or you're down. They wouldn't tell you by quite how many points if there was a big margin. But now, of course, it's just round by round, and that's why it can look unfair sometimes to people when somebody, when a fight has been very, very close, but it looks wide on the scorecards because one fighter might just have edged each round despite them being close.
Well, it's a subjective sport, obviously we've got 5 judges there, but they can all sort of see a round differently, so it's when they are close rounds, and close rounds like this, and like the first round was close, and this second round has been highly competitive as well. I do like Delano's on the front foot, his ring position is better, more positive, but at the same time the Czech is also landing some good shots. I just like the work from Delano getting on top of his opponent there. He looks like he's pressing the fight, and there's something the judges like to see. See that,
some big shots landed there from Delano.
He's just outworking his opponent at the moment. Czech Republic's just slowing, his pace has slowed a little bit, and Delano's has stayed high.
He just keeps coming, Delano, as well, doesn't he? He's got almost a constant work rate, which is really difficult when they're constantly coming at you. He's switching his stance sometimes as well, boxing out of the southpaw position momentarily here and there, and he sustains those attacks. He just keeps coming forward, ploughing his way through, and no matter what Sequessa throws back, he's not able to deter Delano from these attacks.
Yeah, I'd just like to see Sequessa's feet be a little bit faster, be a lot more light on his feet if he was going to go on the back foot like this. You'd have to say Delano's probably taken that round after a very close first round, but yeah, if I was judging that, I'd go for Delano for that second round.
Well, it certainly was a close round, but it does seem that the Dutchman Delano went up a notch there, just turned it up a gear perhaps against the Czech Republic fighter Sequessa. We've seen in the replay there an example of that Delano pressure. He just comes forward, keeps marauding forward, throwing shots. Quite as to how powerful and heavy those shots are, only Sequessa will know, but Sequessa doesn't seem to have a shot that contains the type of power that Delano can respect, and by that I mean to not go, he's not deterring him from moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why I'd like to see his feet a little bit faster.
Third and final round.
If he doesn't want to, have that knockout power. If he doesn't have that knockout power, I'd like to see his feet just moving a little bit more. But it's easier said than done. Trust me, I've been in there when you've got an opponent just coming forward like that, and it's easier said than done.
So difficult, isn't it? And sometimes your brain is telling you to do it, and you know what you've got to do, and your body just can't.
Yeah.
It's
and a nice hook there, Sequessa.
And sometimes you're in a fight where you're giving it everything, you've followed the instructions that the coaches have given you, and you're just in against a better or more experienced fighter on the day, and nothing you do is quite coming off. It's the whole point, of course, is to just keep going, keep trying to make those little adjustments and finding your moments of success to develop and learn along the way, which is very much what the amateur game is and ought to be about.
Yeah, you'd have to say Delano's probably his experience is just paying off a little bit here. He's coming a bit square on, but Sequessa's not able to sort of nullify that too well at the moment, or take advantage of that. So I'd just like to see Sequeira hold the centre of the ring a little bit here. But
he brings that right foot in with him, doesn't he, the Dutch fighter? When he throws that backhand, sometimes, as you've rightly pointed out, he's almost completely square on, as we've just seen there in that position. When he brings that backhand with that right foot round, he's really open to, he would be off balance if the Czech fighter could land at the same time and time it, then he'd catch him.
Definitely. So he's just letting him into his space too easily here. Sequeira's getting tired now, and Delano's able to walk through, and he's not got anything to think about on the way in. It's still competitive, it's still a close round, but you'd have to say that Delano is probably from the midway point in round 2 that he's got on top of this fight, and took control of it after a very, very close sort of round and a half.
It's been almost constant pressure from the Dutchman in blue. Bulldozing forward, letting his hands go. The Czech Republic fighter has applied himself well though, he's doing his best, he's having moments of success as well. He's had the better of some of the exchanges, but very much been on the back foot as he finds himself now in slightly different territory.
Yeah, in a good position.
Can he maintain that centre ring? No, he goes straight back onto the back foot and ends up against the ropes as the Dutchman pushes him back once again.
This will be a great learning fight for the Czech Republic fighter. He'll learn a lot from this. He'll go away, and he'll learn more from maybe not getting a decision here. If he isn't to not get a decision, he may still get it. But you'd have to say Delano is definitely finishing stronger here.
Yeah, certainly the more dominant fighter, and he's looking for a big finish as he pushes Sequeira up against the ropes. Continues to force his way forward, falling a bit short with that one.
Yeah.
But certainly a dominant performance from the Dutchman, who his work rate was relentless, continually coming forward, putting pressure on the Czech Republic fighter. And I think sometimes, Lewis, I don't know about you, but sometimes I would have my best learnings when I watched the footage back, because sometimes when you're in the fight you can't see the things that you're doing particularly well or that you need to do better, and then you watch it back and it clicks. Wow, that's what my coach is saying.
Definitely, especially after a few days as well, when emotions have gone down a little bit. So it's good to see it with a clear head, and we're quite fortunate up Sheffield. We have with GD Boxing, we have a good, very, very strong performance analysis team who are very supportive and provide us with a lot.
It certainly makes a difference, doesn't it, when you're able to watch it back with the coaches. Let's go for the official announcement.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 3, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We all officials at ringside score a split decision in favour of your winner. Boxing out of the red corner, it's Kelvin Sequeira. A round of applause, both boxers.
Well, that's us told then, Lewis. What do we know, eh?
What do we know? That's the first upset of the day, could we call it? Or just definitely something I didn't see coming from ringside. But as we said, the first round was very, very close. I'm sure that would have went to red, and the first half of the second round, and maybe a bit more than the second round, was close as well. So maybe the opponent in red got the first 2 rounds there.
Well, an interesting one that we thought the Dutchman had taken that one, but the judges saw it differently. A split decision, so not all judges were in agreement, but the majority went to the Czech Republic fighter, Kelvin Golden Boy Sequeira, who now will progress through to the next round. Indeed, in Lewis Richardson's weight category. As we go to our MC now to introduce our 4th bout, our MC Craig Denholm. Waiting to get our fourth bout underway here. Tahiti and Sweden. Got Harini Tamarano and Love Holgersson representing Tahiti and Sweden. This in the women's middleweight 75 kilo category. I'm familiar with Love Holgersson. Very, very tall, rangy fighter. So we'll see what Tamarano can bring. Our fifth fight coming up. This is our penultimate fight of the morning session. The final fight is going to be an absolute cracker. Super heavyweight men's division. Delicious Ori and Nelvit Tiafak. The two have met before, set to be a cracker. Let's get ready to announce.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is about number 4, introducing your red corner to the ring, representing French Polynesia. Give it up for Harini Tamarano.
So, Harini Tamarano, French Polynesia, hails from Tahiti, making her way to the ring, fighting out of the red corner. She was nominated Athlete of the Year by Polynesian First, the sports channel. She was one of the nominees for Athlete of the Year, so well received and well supported from her home nation. Interesting to see how she can apply herself here.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner, representing Sweden, give it up for Love Holgersson.
Love Holgersson then, the Swedish fighter, fighting out of the blue corner. As I said, she is a very, very tall fighter, as you tend to find in the 75 kilo category. European bronze medalist in 2022, Nordic champion in 2022. Vastly experienced. She's been sparring with Cindy and Gamba. She's got an incredible story of her own. She'll be representing the refugee fair play team, but she came here from Cameroon as a 10-year-old, and she will be competing in this competition. The refugee team boxes out of the Elite Boxing Academy in Halliwell. So she's done plenty of rounds of sparring with her, so that will have stood her in good stead for this particular contest. Again, we've got a huge height and reach advantage in this fight, so it's about who can utilise.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 4, which is a women's middleweight contest, scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, representing French Polynesia. Please give it up for Harini Tamarano. And across the ring, her opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing all blue with white trim, representing Sweden. Give it up for Love Holgersson. Your referee in the bell, Miss Susan Kopka.
So a huge height and reach advantage for the Swedish boxer Love Holgersson. Vastly experienced, well over 100 fights. She's faced the likes of Savannah Marshall, Nushka Fontaine, Christina Hammer, Anna Laurel Nash, all Olympians.
Round 1.
Was beaten in the Cologne Box Cup last October by Australia's Caitlin Parker, who's one of those who's qualified already for Paris 2024. So she's been in with some top quality fighters. She's been around a long time. I actually boxed her in 2013 when I had no business being at 75 kilo because I'm 5'6" and she's obviously about 9 feet tall. And even from the other side of the ring, I think she could have hit me. Didn't need to be anywhere near me. That time, I think it was my 8th fight, I think, that Lewis, and I got out the ring after, and somebody said, oh, he did well against the junior world champion. And my dad was my coach, and I said, Dad, she's been junior world champion and had over 70 fights, you know. And he went, I know. I said, why didn't you tell me? I said, well, it wouldn't have helped me before the fight.
Definitely not.
And that was that.
You don't need to hear that before you get in the ring in your 8th fight.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you can see the experience that this Swedish opponent's got. We were actually in a training camp in October in Stockholm, and she was there, and I watched her spar Cindy, and it was a brilliant spar. Cindy's a super talented female, and yeah, it was a brilliant spar to watch. And
yeah, and I mentioned Cindy because she's a sort of similar build to Morano in a way, you know, a shorter stature than Love Holgersson and a come forward fighter. So that's why I was mentioning that, because I do think that will have stood her in good stead for this particular contest. Nice check hook from Love Holgersson as she moves off to her left, and Tamarano got the problem here of, again, finding a way through those long levers of Holgersson to close the distance and be able to work up close. Easier said than done, but just switching a stance.
To try and put a little bit more pressure on her opponent to get into that range, because her range will be a lot different to the Swedish girls. So yeah, the Swedish girl's just putting her jab out nicely at the moment. She's doing what she needs to do to win this round at the moment, I'd say. But based on the last result, what do we know, Stacey?
No, yeah, it's a nice long jab that Love Holgersson is utilising there, and that's no surprise given that massive reach advantage. And Tamarano here has got to find some way of getting past those long levers, and when she does get up close, it's got to be a little bit more explosive and impose herself on the Swedish fighter more, Lewis.
Yeah, definitely. Just to be honest, just her body language doesn't super positive at the moment. She yeah, there was a standing count there. That was a 1-2-1, you know, the jab backhand and then back with the jab, but it was a strong jab she landed there.
So she's taken what we call an 8 count from the referee, which is where if the referee feels that a fighter has taken a particularly big shot or a flurry of shots, it gives the boxer just that few seconds to clear the head before the referee deems whether they can continue or not. She has done, and I think that first bell came at a good time for the French-Polynesian boxer. He's really up against it here against Love Holgersson. Vastly experienced, as I said, over 100 fights, been in with multiple Olympians, including the likes of Savannah Marshall and Nushka Fontaine and Christina Hammer. I mean, top fighters over the last decade or so. So she's really up against it. She has applied herself well, though, but I don't think there's much conviction, as you say, the body language when she is getting up close, not letting her hands go, not loading up with them, and not giving Holgersson any reason to sort of take a step back.
Definitely, I think she needs to show a little bit more positive body language, and yeah, show the judges that she wants it. She looks a little bit happy just to survive at the moment. To be honest, it appears there would be a big sort of experience difference here as well. But yeah, it was a dominant first round.
That sometimes, of course, can happen, can't it, in international contests where you can get, it's not like when it's matched on club shows, is it, where you generally try and ensure that they've got a similar experience. Sometimes in internationals that just doesn't happen. You can find yourself, a 20-odd bouncer with somebody who's had over 100 contests, and there can be a huge difference.
The thing is, there's those stronger nations who have to box sort of 7, 8, 9 times to win their nationals, similar to us in England and Wales and Scotland, and then you get slightly less developed nations who will only box.
There's another standing 8 count now for the French-Polynesian boxer Tamarano after shipping a big backhand from Love Holgersson. It may not go the distance, this one, as Love Holgersson straight back to work, driving forward with that backhand, pushing Tamarano back up against the ropes again and going back to work. It's a good display from Holgersson. And from what I remember, although it was 11 years ago when she and I fought, she did possess quite a bit of power in those long levers. When she gets them going, she
looks like
she turns into them.
Yeah, she puts leverage on her shots. She fully rotates through the hips, through the legs. That's where the power comes from, and she looks super comfortable here. And she looks like she's trying to put another count on her opponent, and maybe stop the fight early. Yeah, nice. That was a good combination.
And that's it. I think the referee has called it there. Took another big shot from the Swedish boxer, and the referee feeling that there's no mileage in this one continuing for Tamarano. He's taken quite a bit of punishment from Holgersson, and I think that the key point there, Lewis, is that it wasn't going to change if that one continued in the second round and indeed went into the third round, because, as you say, just a gulf, I think, in experience here, and the French-Polynesian boxer doing everything she could, but sometimes you just can't make up for that lack of experience.
Yeah, definitely. Just watching the replay here, we can see the variation of shots, the crispness on the shots. It just looked in control, and I think the referees made the right decision there to stop the bout early.
Yeah, the ref has stopped the contest, feeling there's no point in continuing and allowing Tamarano to take any more punishment. Love Holgersen, vastly experienced fighter, and certainly been in there with the best in the world. To wait the official announcement from our MC, Craig Denholm.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 4, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, your referee has stopped the contest in round number 2, giving you your winner. Boxing out of the blue corner, it's Love Holgersen. A round of applause, both boxers.
Well, a good win for the Swedish boxer, making sure that she made the most of all her tools, her height and reach advantage. The Swedish boxer, I have to say, if you follow her on social media, you'll know that she is a serious ice plunger. So some people just get in those little ice baths. She gets in an actual hole in the ice out there in Sweden. They're far more accustomed to that than we are, but certainly a braver woman than me, because some of those videos, it's literally just a little square carved out of ice, and she plunges straight into that water. So fair play to her. That's obviously helps her recovery, and it's obviously working well, because that was a great performance from the Swedish 75-kilo boxer, who will be looking to stake her claim to represent Sweden at the next qualification tournament. Stu O'Connor, of course, the head coach of Sweden. He's out in Australia at a boxing camp at the moment, but he was, of course, a England and GB boxing coach, a great coach as well. I was unbeaten with him in my corner, so I favour him, because it's superstition, isn't it?
Yeah,
never lost with Stu O'Connor in my corner, so I'll never
have your favourite.
I've got to say a good word about him, of course, but did great things in Portsmouth. Of course, he was in the Navy, married to Lucy O'Connor, former GB boxer as well, so yeah, that is a household you don't want to burgle with those two in it, but he's doing great now with the Swedish team, and as I say, he's out at the Australian boxing camp with those at the moment. His dad, of course, Terry O'Connor, the very well renowned referee as well, so very much a boxing family, and he'll be really pleased to see Love Holgersen progressing after a very dominant performance against French-Polynesian fighter from Tahiti, Tamarano. We await our 5th and final bout.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is bout number 5. Introducing your boxers to the ring, and firstly, your red corner, representing England, please give it up for Delicious Ori!
Well, this is the 5th and final bout of this morning's session, and this is set to be an absolute cracker. You can never dare take your eyes off the super heavyweights, because it just takes one punch and it can change everything. Such is the weight of these powerful punchers in the heaviest weight division in the amateur code. Delicious Ori is a real serious prospect, already being touted as the next Anthony Joshua. DJ, as he's known, hails from Wolverhampton, Commonwealth Games gold medalist, European Games gold medalist, and he has already secured qualification for Paris 2024. So this very much about continuing his preparation to ensure he peaks just at the right time for the Olympics.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing your blue corner to the ring, representing Germany, give it up for Nelvi Tifak.
Here's his opponent from Germany making his way to the ring, an equally interesting and accomplished opponent here in the super heavyweight category. The 25-year-old has played football, played basketball. Clearly, boxing has been his final choice. He has beaten Delicious Ori previously, a unanimous points decision at the 2022 Europeans, where he went on to win gold. So this should be a very interesting matchup, and Delicious Ori will very much be looking to improve upon that last outing against this opponent in front of him here in Nelvitia.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the bout number 5, which is a super heavyweight contest scheduled for 3 rounds of 3 minutes. And introducing your boxers. Firstly, boxing out of the red corner, wearing the all red with white trim, representing England. Give it up for Delicious Ori! And across the ring, his opponent, boxing out of the blue corner, wearing the all blue with white trim, representing Germany. Give it up for Nelvi Chiafak! Your referee at the bell, representing Scotland, Mr. George Brown.
Do not take your eyes off this one. If you're thinking of popping to grab a bit of lunch or a brew, do not move, because in the super heavyweight category, anything can happen. These are big men, heavy punchers, powerful punchers, and it can take just one shot and everything can change. Nelvi Chiafak, the German, fighting in blue out of the blue corner against GB fighter Delicious Ori, fighting out of the red corner. This will not be a slow-paced, cumbersome affair. These two, despite their size and weight,
this is an absolutely fantastic bout.
Explosive operators. It is.
These two are brilliant super heavyweights. I remember watching the bout in Yerevan, Armenia, when DJ actually dropped the unanimous point decision. But DJ has improved so much since then. His work.
Well, he actually won. He won Best Male Boxer at the GB Awards, didn't he? And Most Improved Boxer as well. And that's something that he'll be wanting.
That's a real testament to himself as well, because he is a hard worker in the gym. You know, super heavyweights can, you know, they might not run as hard, or they might not train quite as well, but there's no doubt on that with DJ. He is a grafter, and it started really well. This is a high-paced super heavyweight fight. The German opponent caught DJ early on with a backhand, but DJ settled in well, and yeah, it's close. It's a close competitive.
And the interesting thing with these two, the sort of super heavyweights who, if you didn't know any better, you'd think they were bantamweights for the speed that they operate at. I mean, fast hands, crisp shots,
they're moving really
explosive exchanges. It's really exciting to watch the two of them. Very agile. You don't always get that with the super heavyweight category. There sometimes can be that slow thudding type of style, but these two, crisp, snappy, fast-paced shots, wonderful to watch. We are really being treated to a super heavyweight bout of the highest quality here.
You're 100% right. This is session 1 of this tournament, and this is an unbelievable fight to start.
It's almost disappointing when you get these in the early rounds, because both fighters you want to see in the later stages, but just the fact that we get to see these two fighters is a real privilege. And from our position here at ringside, a wonderful display of boxing. The crowd really can feel the atmosphere has really risen for this one, Lewis.
Definitely.
As you would expect, both fighters got a lot of support.
Yeah, this is a great round of boxing. This is some of the best super heavyweight boxing you'll see on the world stage. You know, this could potentially be an Olympic bout. Well, they're both definitely good enough to qualify.
Absolutely, but of course Delicious Ori has already secured his place at Paris 2024. European Games gold medalist, Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He's got a pretty incredible resume.
DJ's got a brilliant jab. I like his feet. His feet are fast, especially for a super heavyweight. He jabs very well in and out.
That jab's like a ramrod, isn't it? He completely... He steps in fully with it, doesn't it? And fully extends that.
That was a brilliant round of boxing.
Lever to, it's just superb opening round, that one. If you look back, and we're talking about the improvement of DJ Delicious Ori, when you look back at the footage of him, for example, against Stephen Robinson a few years back, who's the old Ivan Drago pro now. It does literally look like Ivan Drago as well, and that's his alias out of the Rocky movies. When you look at that, it was, you know, a few years ago now. If you look at the difference in Delicious Ori now, it is night and day. Just an incredible improvement, rapid improvement that he's made. Pretty incredible stuff.
Definitely, he's improved massively, and I've seen that day in day out in the gym, and it's no surprise, because I see his work ethic.
And that mentality as well. I mean, in the Commonwealth Games finally was down after the first round against his Indian opponent and overcame that, turned it round and got the win, which says a lot about him, that's for sure. He moved to the UK from Russia when he was just 5 years old. He played basketball as well. Wonder how these two would get on in a basketball play, since both have played basketball.
Well, they're both super athletic.
They've both switched to boxing, thankfully. He's got a first-class degree in economics and management from the Aston University. Trained out of the Pat Benson's gym, raised in Birmingham. He's very, very proud of his roots in the Midlands and applied himself really well here. The interesting thing for Nelvi Tiafak, of course, is that he's been a sparring partner for Anthony Joshua. As last year he was sparring with him, so he will have gained a great deal of experience from that as well, and he described him as an absolute beast, which that will have stood him in good stead, getting some good rounds in against two-time world champion Anthony Joshua. Came over to London to spar with him, which shows great endeavour and ambition from him, doesn't it, to take the opportunity to spar with the likes of AJ Lewis.
Definitely, yeah. I mean, the German is the European champion himself, you know, and DJ's the most recent European champion, but they're both achieved some of the highest accolades you can in the amateur sport, so you can see why this is a high-level bout, and I hope everyone at home is enjoying this bout because you're being treated to something special on day one. I'd just like to see DJ use his fast feet and his fast hands a little bit more. He's getting a little bit drawn in here. It's still a close round, but he's making it go a little bit too 50-50 for me. Yeah,
he's against a quality operator here in Tiafak from Germany. European champion in 2022. He won gold at the Tama tournament last year in November. Very agile. He's fought Fraser Clark in the European Games. That was back in 2019. Beat him in the round of 16. Clark, of course, went on to win bronze at Tokyo. He's been sparring with Ajit Kabayel as well, who got that what was called an upset at the Day of Reckoning in Saudi in December. He got that win over Makhmudov as well, so he's had some top quality sparring with professional fighters as well, Tiafak, and you can see that, can't you, that he's gone around and put the work in and been in there with some heavy guys and held his own.
What I like about Tiafak is he's been sparring the pros, but he's still kept his amateur speed, and so good shot from Delicious there. That's what we want to see, more backhands like that. Yes.
He's a very intelligent fighter, Delicious, isn't he? And that's why when I say, when you look back at those early fights against, like that one I was saying at Stephen Robinson, and it was on a domestic, obviously, boxing show that was, for both representing our club sides. The difference in him is incredible, and you have to be an intelligent fighter and one that's able to take on the instruction from your coaches and execute that in order to make those improvements.
100%. You've got to be able to be adaptable in this game. Different opponents all the time. Just like to see DJ keep his feet nice and lively, because that's when he's at his best, when he's fast and fast. So lovely jab there to finish on the 10-second clapper.
The fact that these two are fighting in such close quarters suggests to you that this is a fight of the highest quality. And as Lewis rightly said, this could well be a World, European or even Olympic final. Such is the quality and pedigree of these two highly skilled operators. What a fantastic 6 minutes of boxing we've got. The only shame is that it's only 3 threes. We'd love to watch 10, 11, 12 rounds of this, wouldn't we? Because it's so absorbing. Definitely. Really intriguing matchup, and it's always interesting as a fighter when you've been beaten by somebody. You want to see how much you've improved, and as a fighter that's won, you want to go one better, don't you? You know, do it even better if you can. Perhaps get a stoppage if you want, or get a unanimous decision, whatever it might be. You're always looking, even for the tiniest margin of improvement.
Yeah, that's the perfectionist in us as athletes. But yeah, I can't take my eyes off this bout. It's a great bout, great super heavyweight bout. And
second time.
If you're watching this at home, you are watching two of the very best super heavyweights in the amateur code in the world. And
on a Wednesday afternoon, you're being treated, everyone.
Absolutely, certainly are.
I just hope this is a good last round.
Certainly beats daytime TV, but then that's not difficult anyway.
No, definitely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, that's it.
Good start in this round from Delicious. Sorry, and one of the keys to this is his jab, isn't it? Takes a big shot there, though, from Tiafak, just knocking his head back. But if he really gets that jab going, it's difficult for Tiafak to get at him, isn't he? He's really effective with that jab when he gets it going, DJ.
Yeah, definitely. He's got one of the best, well, probably arguably the best jab in super heavyweight amateur boxing Delicious has. So just like to see him getting that back off more. And just landing a couple of eye-catching backhands. That's a nice little combination, 2-1. Keep the German guessing. Good backhand again from Delicious there.
Lovely work from Delicious, there. He's maintaining that distance and that range, keeping Tiafak on the end of that jab. And then he was able to capitalise on that, build off that jab and land the backhand. Lovely work at range with those long straight shots from Delicious, adjusting his feet to maintain that distance. Great work from Delicious, Tiafak finding it more difficult in this round, Lewis, to find a way through and get at Delicious.
Yeah, for sure. DJ's having a lot more success this round.
He's just made those adjustments, hasn't he, which is exactly what he and the coaches will want to see, that he's making the adjustments between rounds. You only get a minute to give those instructions, and you've got to be clear, prioritise what needs to be done, and if the fighter can execute that, that can be those tiny changes can be the difference between winning the rounds.
100%. This is it's a game of fine margins, this sport. So yeah, it's just about making them small adjustments. DJ just gets caught on the way out there. He needs to keep his hands and feet nice and fast. Minute to go.
Lots of concentration required here from both fighters. Very, very close contest this, and as Lewis said, got to maintain your concentration because the margins between victory and defeat can be so fine. Just those couple of shots can be the difference when landed clean in rounds that are so close.
This will be a great learning.
45 seconds left in this one.
This is a great opportunity for these two to learn a lot in a competitive environment for a big year ahead. So Tiafak still has to go to Olympic qualifiers and go and qualify, but for Delicious, he's already done that, and this will be a great experience for him before.
Yeah, he was saying that he can do as much running and strength and conditioning as you want, but Delicious was saying this week that the most important thing is getting these top quality bouts under your belt as you prepare for the Olympics, which of course his full focus is set on now as he edges his way in, trying to get those last couple of big shots on Tiafak as he lunges in, leaves himself open.
Brilliant bout.
Nice quick jab to finish from Delicious. What a fantastic bout of boxing to finish this morning session.
If that's a 3-2 split decision, because that was very hard to score.
I would hate to be a judge. I really would hate to be a judge, especially in a bout like that, because there was a bit of everything there.
Don't want to see a loser in that bout, but yeah, let's hope for our sake Delicious has got the decision.
So Delicious in the red corner, the man from Wolverhampton, already qualified for Paris 2024, and Tiafak from Germany in blue, another quality operator. That was a super heavyweight bout of the finest quality.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, bout number 5, please show your appreciation for both boxers. So, ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards. We all officials and ringside score a split decision in favour of your winner. And boxing out of the blue corner is Nelvi Tiafak. A round of applause for both boxers.
As Lewis just said there, wouldn't be surprised by a split decision. He could have given that one either way, but Tiafak edging that one. Would you agree with that, Lewis? What do you think edged it for him in the end?
Maybe just a couple more backhands landed from Tiafak. It was a very close competitive bout, and DJ will be that stronger, trust me. He'll go back to the drawing board, and one thing about Delicious is on the big stage he gets it right. He gets gold medals at major competitions, so for sure he'll be back stronger. He'll learn loads from that again, and great fight from Tiafak. Hope he goes well and does well in the rest of the tournament.
We've seen some great action here in the replays, and as you can see, that was fought at a frenetic pace, quick reflexes from both fighters. Really top quality super heavyweight boxing. This is not the last that you will see of Delicious. Of course, won't be seeing him again at this particular tournament, but already secured qualification.
Okay, ladies
for Paris
and
2024.
gentlemen, that concludes our first session of boxing for the week. 5 great bouts to start the competition. I'd like to say thank you to the officials, the coaches and the boxers, and everyone in attendance within the arena and watching on BBC. We will resume the second session at 5 p.m. this afternoon. Thank you. We will see you soon.
Thank you so much for joining us, and Lewis Richardson, it's been an absolute pleasure. We wish you all the very best for your first bout tomorrow. I'm really excited about being able to commentate on that one.
I'm due in around 6:15 tomorrow afternoon.
6:15
so,
tomorrow.
yeah,
Make sure, everybody, that you do not miss it, because another top quality operator. We will be back with you from 5 o'clock. We've got 7 bouts on the evening session. We'll look forward to seeing you then from Sheffield, the English Institute of Sport, for the World Boxing Cup.